All right. Happy Monday. I am so excited. If y'all don't know me, I know we have a couple different teams on here. My name's Brianne Coolidge. I am a proud diamond with Plexus. And if you don't know this about Plexus, and maybe you're just watching this for the first time or you're hopping on the first call, something that is really unique in our culture and within the Plexus business is that we truly, it's not just a cliche saying for us, we rise by lifting others. And we have these really cool underground Facebook pages with the Plexus Jewels and the Plexus Diamonds. And there truly is not competition here. And the fact that we are always sharing stuff. People get in and kind of post questions, and then people jump back in with different responses, different answers, different things that are going on. And Sadie is just one of those people that I look up to so much in this business. She is somebody that if I post a question in there or if I have a comment back, we've just always like tag teamed messaged each other like, hey, did you see this? And how can we grow through this? And let's push each other through this and let's give each other 5 minutes and then we're going to get through this. She has a brilliant mind, and I am a big believer in that we pull from different people's strengths in this. And the way that her brain works is not the way that my brain works. And so I love that in this opportunity, we just get to pull from different things that people have. And so one of the questions right now, right, in Plexus and in just the world in general, and when you're on this side of Plexus, drop a 1 in the comments if it took you a little while to decide to jump in with Plexus. Or maybe if you're like me, I quit the first time that I started Plexus. It took me 6 months to come back because I didn't know what I had. And I actually told people not to message me about it because I was never, ever going to do this. And so one of the biggest questions that a lot of people have right now when you're on this side of it is, we know the value, we know what we have, but how do we get other people to see that value? How do we get them to come to the good pink side, right? And how do we get them to just believe in us and really try this and give it a fair shot? And so that's one of the questions that was posed. And Sadie, like I said, she just jumps in wherever she sees something where she can add value to other people. And one of the questions that we were asking was pertaining to this. And she just said, I have a super simple system and I'd love to share it with y'all. To the point where I messaged her while she was at Jewel training last week and was like, hey, could you maybe just jump on a call and share this? And at the Jewel training, she was like, yes, give me 3 days. I'm going to message you right back because that's her heart. And so I cannot wait to learn from her with y'all tonight. I'm going to pass it over, but get out your notes. And I'm a really big believer in this too, because she does not have to be on here and train with us and share this with us. It is not fun to talk to names on screens. So Facebook etiquette, it does not matter where you're at, except for if you're in a bathtub. Maybe if you're in a bathtub, don't show us. But anywhere else you are, Mina's like, why do you have to say the things that you say sometimes? Just show us your faces, because it is so good to get feedback and facial expressions instead of just talking to names on screens. Okay, Sadie, it's all yours.
Okay, well, if you're here on Brienne's team, the fact that she even introduced me like that, I'm like, hang on, wait a second. Does she know who she is? Because this is the woman who is like, how many times have we said, Brienne needs the One Plexus Award? This woman creates resources and beautiful, um, just shareable content. And we just love that about you. And I just have loved forming a friendship with you, my sweet. So if you're here on her team, you already know that you're led by greatness. But what came up was kind of a just how to close. And I think I just kind of I didn't articulate it well. I was like, oh, we've got something. I don't have a video, because that was the question, who's got a video? And so it kind of, here we are, right? This is how this kind of like transpired. So if you're listening from my team, I sincerely hope this is a refresher, because this is something that has changed the course of how we train and duplicate. I hope that you, if you're watching this and hearing it for the first time, this is something that you feel you can add immediate value to your organization. It's something that has changed everything for the way that my team, that I train my level ones and my entire team. So, and I bet you your leader is going to create a resource around this. If I had to guess, she's probably going to be taking some kind of incredible notes. I don't even know what she does because, like she said, our brains work very differently. I'm very, very thankful for friends that think like her and add the value that she adds. So here we're going to go. We're just going to get right into it. And so I want to talk to you about closing quickly. This is possible. This is not something that is a skill. It is a skill you can learn. So I want to let you know, if you're telling yourself you don't know how to do it, that's the first problem. This is not a call about thoughts. Okay. Dreaming of diamond. Don't worry. We're not talking about thoughts right now, but what we are talking about is there are 3 things that are really necessary if you want to close quickly. The first is open-ended questions. That is something that, if you have been ever paying attention at all with anything that has come out of my mouth on my team page, open-ended questions are where it lives, breathes, dies, all the things. So you want to be learning the skill of dropping into curiosity always. It is not about your experience. Your experience probably brought them into wanting to learn more, but we don't need to know about your experience right now. We need to learn about them. Okay. So open-ended questions. The next, again, that kind of rolls into what I just said. It's their time. It's their story. We're not talking about you right now. And I love your story. Like I said, your story drew them in. Your relationship with them drew them in. If you're supporting somebody growing the business, that is true for them. Their story drew them in. But we're not in the closing mechanism right now where we're going to be talking a lot about ourselves, period. End of story. If that's been an issue for you, changing that will change the trajectory of how quickly you close. And number 3 is, we're not offering excess information. And these all go into each other. I'm going to walk you down a path of what it looks like, so you don't have to worry about deciphering what that means. I'm going to walk you through it. So like I said, I don't have a PowerPoint, but I know that you guys are going to take great notes. I'm always an open book. I'm someone who is very available. I always want to be. And I know that Brian feels the same way, is that just because we are at the top, it doesn't mean that we're unaccessible or inaccessible. And so if you have any questions, or if you have questions, you want to drop them in the chat, please do. So you guys, this is so easy. Okay. And believing that it's hard is hurting you. Believing that you're doing something wrong is hurting you. It goes back to those thoughts, but really, this is conversational. This is something that naturally will happen when you are dropping into curiosity. So here's the other, I had my first 3 points, and my sub point is this. I'm believing that you are utilizing 3-way conversations. Okay. If you are not operating 3-way conversations, I want you to become the person who duplicates the 3-way conversation on your own team. Okay. If you don't have a sponsor that does this with you, if you're like, oh, I don't have anybody, become her. Okay. So I don't guys, I think that we've got to get past the conversation of what someone's not providing for us, and we need to become that. Okay. So maybe the reason it's not working out for you, for that person above you to be that one-on-one, is because God has designed it for you to become that person. And so I want you to learn the skill of 3-way messages. All right. So why do you want to learn 3-way messages? 1, it's modeling, right? If you want to create a strong team, you need to be the strongest member of your team, and you need to show them what that looks like. Period. End of story. Okay. Next is earning while you learn. You want to invite people on your team to allow you into this 3-way message model, because they're going to be earning money while you're showing them the way that it goes. Okay. And 3 is duplication, right? Becoming duplicatable is a superpower that is literally necessary to go to the top of this business. I don't care how good you are. How teachable is your method? Okay. You are a rock star. You're amazing. You're on this call on a Monday night. Like you care. Okay. But you have to become duplicatable. And sometimes you have to become like your own rock star. And I get it. We have seasons of business where you have to turn around and you have to become what you wish that you had, or you have to become that person that you wish you could recruit, becoming her, right? But your method has to be duplicatable. Here is a perfect example. And I do have some vintage OG folks on here for my team that will remember. I am very about ingredients. They are very important to me. I'm extremely nerdy about it. And that I would talk about that a lot. And do you know how many people, when I first started, said, well, I just can't do that because I just don't care about ingredients the way that you do? Well, I zip my lip and I don't talk about it, right? I will do it when it makes sense, but I'm not front facing with that. So you might be somebody who has a particular emphasis or a particular skill, and that is wonderful. Okay. But I want you to remember that you have to become someone that others can follow. Your method has to make sense for a lot of other people who do not have your particular skill set or interest level to be successful. Okay. All right. So obviously I already said this, but if you don't have a sponsor in the business, you don't want to put her in three-way chats, she drives you crazy, become the person that's teaching this to your team. Okay. So here is the method. Are you guys ready? Who's ready? It's so easy. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Okay. So either yourself, meaning you are the person inviting someone into a message with your sponsor. Okay. Or you're teaching someone to invite them into a message with you. The way that the three-way message starts is from a post, right? From an interaction, right? You're just asking them if they're open. So we're checking for openness. Hey, oh my gosh, I have loved learning about some of the issues you're having with your diabetes. Would you mind if I added you into a message with my girlfriend that I'm learning a lot about the products from? That's it. Don't say anything else. Don't give more. Checking for openness. Okay. They're going to say yes or no. They might say no. We can go down that rabbit hole later. Okay. But the point of that is continuous invitations, inviting into a three-way message, inviting into a Sunday night call, inviting it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You have options. So inviting into your customer page, tagging them in a store, whatever. Okay. But let's say they say yes. Either you are starting that message or the person that you're training is starting that message. And the message is going to start. A great thing to do is also check like, hey, are you cool? Oh, great. So awesome. I'm so excited for you to meet her. Are you cool with us to do this in Messenger? Like checking for where that's good for them, obviously. Dropping into curiosity with that, finding out. Then you start the message, or then the message is started. It's going to go something like this. Hey, Brianne, this is my girlfriend, Jody. I'm learning a ton about Plexus from her. I already know that this is going to be helpful for you. I'm so glad you're open. I can't wait for us to figure out what's perfect for you. Right? It doesn't even have to be like that. It can be something like, hey, this is my girlfriend. She knows why she's in the message. Right? And then what happens is we open that message is opened, and then one of you doesn't talk. So the facilitator of the message is the sponsor acting human being, right? It's either you or it's either your actual sponsor. And they're going to take over. Okay. We're going to let the sponsor jump in, or we're going to let you jump in. We don't need to talk about anything else. We're letting one person take the reins. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hey girl, what are your health goals? I can't wait to help you. Right? If you're not a hey girl person, I'm a hey girl message sender. If you're not that, hi Sharon. Tell me a little bit more about why you're interested in Plexus. Okay? Opening the message. Right? They're going to answer. Right? I have diabetes, I'm on whatever they're going to say. They're going to say something very compelling and interesting. And you're going to say this back. as the person who's facilitating the message. Oh my God, you're going to relate to them in some way. So I'm going to say this because there's a multitude of different ways that you're going to do this, because guess what? You're a human being and you're going to have a curious reaction to what they've said. Right? Let's say that they have something that is relatable to you, or that you also had Hashimoto's, or that you something, right? You're going to say, "Oh my gosh, I can totally relate to this. My mother had this same, struggle with kind of the same things." Then you ask an open-ended question to get clarity about something that they've shared, right? What do we want to find out in Plexus? Are you on medications? What, you already know what they're looking for. Are you struggling with sleep? We're just kind of becoming an investigator. We're getting curious. But the method is this. You ask an open-ended question, they answer. You provide relatability and ask an open-ended question and they answer. At no point are you giving extra fluff or cherry on top right now. We're not putting whipped cream on the sundae. We're not we're not doing that. We're just, So it could look something like this, right? Oh my gosh, hey, Nikki, look, I'm so excited to meet you. Tell me about your health goals. Nikki has PCOS. She's got diabetes. She has low energy. She doesn't sleep. Girl, that sounds like a lot. And guess what? When I started this, I was not sleeping either. I am so sorry. Tell me a little bit about the medications that you're on, if any, right? She tells you the medications, and then you're like, oh, I am very close to knowing exactly what you need. Tell me a little bit more about how your digestion is right now. She's going to answer. And so here's what happens. You're going to continue dropping into curiosity, giving no information other than emotional support until you feel ready to share a combo with them. You are not going to give them options. This is a key factor. You're not giving options, right? You're going to be working with someone who has been recommending these products, or you are going to become that expert, and you can quickly, guess what happens? Sometimes there is a side chat to the side chat, and we're like, hey, Brianne, oh my gosh, can I show you screenshots? And she's going to help you as you become that leader for your team. You do not have to be afraid of not knowing, but what you should be afraid of is dumping a lot of information into a chat and alienating the person, because they don't care about anything but getting help. Right? So right now we are focused heavily on them. We are so interested in what they have to say. That's all we care about. Okay. So we get clarity and we're like, okay, well, this person 100% needs triplex and reset, right? Like we're just, we see it, we feel it, and this is what's going to happen. You ask the last question that had, clarifying question. They provide their last answer, and you're like, this is what you say. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you need. This is going to be so awesome for you. And you show them a picture. And if you have boards, if you use boards, this is where you get robust on the combos. I suggest people get 3 combos they love a lot. Okay. We have a ton of options, but I want you to get 3 that you feel really passionate around. Okay. And those can vary from leader to leader, but I definitely want you to, especially if you're new to this and you're like, I'm drinking from a fire hose right now, find 3. Find 3, keep the pictures in either your boards or keep them in your photo album or whatever, but this is what you're going to do. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you need. This is going to be so amazing for you. Bam, show them the picture. And then you say this. How does this look to you? That's it. That's it. That's it. You don't provide any type of color. We don't need extra emojis. We don't need extra, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Exclamation points. Why could I not find that? Okay. And then here's what they're going to say. Oh, that looks good. And then you say, great. Would you like me to sign you up myself or send you instructions? Nothing else. nothing else. Because if you don't show up as the expert, they don't know anything, you guys. Literally. Unless you tell me that somebody was a jewel in plexus, they left and they want to come back and learn about new options. Like they don't know. They're just like a normal person. They don't know anything about silver, referral codes, welcome packs, like none of that stuff. This is a person who's just like, help me feel better. If you do more than that, it is going to alienate and clog up the conversation. Maybe you've noticed, like, cause I know that I used to definitely be like, cause I like, you know, I was a recovering people pleaser. So I'm like, how does this look? Are you okay? Am I okay? Are we okay? Does this look pretty? What do you think? Do you want this? Do you even like me? What's going on? We're not doing that. We're showing up as the leader, the expert, and all of that. Okay. So you've already said, how does this look to you? And they're like, looks good. And you're like, great. Would you like me to sign you up myself or send you instructions? And then they answer, and then you move on, and you don't add color to anything. You do what is said. Now, here is the one caveat to the ending part. They might be like, well, how much is it? And that's when everybody loses their whole marbles, right? They're like, oh my God, they asked about the price and now I'm like squeezing my butt cheeks together. No, we don't have to listen. Our products are worth 3 freaking times what they cost. Know it. Okay. How does this look? This looks good. Do you want us to sign you up or whatever? And they're like, how much does it cost? And you just give the information. You don't have to color it up. I did this like several times today. I'm like, hey, triplex and reset is X. Next month, it's going to just be the triplex and that is X. How does this sound? That's it. That's it. They're spending more on a pair of jeans. Know it. Okay. Stop apologizing for the price. So then they, you know, how does this sound? And they're going to be like, okay, that sounds good. Great. So, and then circling back, would you like me to go ahead and sign you up myself? Or would you like me to send you instructions? Guys, you just closed somebody and you gave no information other than a picture. You related to them. You loved on them. You said, oh my gosh, I get that. I mean, and obviously the color I did not add back into this is like, if somebody in your life has, this person has suffered with thyroid cancer and somebody in your life has, say that, right? We all want to be emotionally appealed to. Okay. Emotionally appealing to someone is not giving them an ingredients list and talking to them about us being like an A+ rating with the BBB. That's not what we're talking about. We're not giving information. We are just relating to them. Okay. Okay. So if you don't do boards, highly recommend if you need easy access to a lot of information. We do that. That's how I train. But if somebody doesn't want to get that, there are ways around that. You just get the graphics that feel really good to you, or you have a repository where you can quickly access them. Okay. Because you're offering one combo. Now, if for some reason, and this goes without saying, but I wanted to be thorough, if for some reason you're piecing a combo together, right? So it's like slim and restore, whatever. There are, you know, separate graphics that you can share, right? If you feel like, oh, well, they really need liver support or whatever, like, boards. I saw your question. Boards is an app, that is, you can get it and it's free if you have 3 boards. Okay. So if somebody on your team does that, otherwise I'm sure that you guys have a place where you have beautiful pictures, like in like a thread of yours or, you know, in your team page or whatever. Like I'm sure that you guys offer that. And Brian, you know, you can jump in, like, yeah. So all you're doing is repeating those steps of the open-ended questions and the relating until you feel confident. Okay. Here is the truth, is that I feel like we overcomplicate our part in this. And I just want to let you know that it's, if we can really sit in the place that this is not about us, this is about becoming an investigator. This is about dropping into curiosity. This is about connecting people with the products. This is not a showcase of how much you know. This is not a showcase of how great about anything that you are other than a question asker and a solution finder. I feel like, you know, a lot of times I know for me, and I'm speaking for myself, it felt really important to me to be smart and like look at everything I know, but that doesn't necessarily matter. Okay. And I want to say that I don't want to come across as too direct, other than the fact that this method works. I would say it's a 95% success rate. If you're on my team and you want to chime in and talk about it in the comments, if you feel like it's very successful, if you use this, please understand that, you know, you can share what your experience is. And I will answer any questions, but I want to just share that all you're doing is becoming a servant leader right now. This is teaching you servant leadership. If you're brand new and you have a friend that's like, I'll get my products paid for, a great place to start learning how to become a servant leader is to drop into curiosity, asking questions and listening and providing a solution, right? Servant leadership is a skill that you can continue to grow. It is a muscle that you can flex, and it's something that can get better and better with time. We didn't all, like those of us on here that have been in the company for a long time or have grown teams that are sizable, we didn't start out with this, but we refined it along the way. So I want you to know that wherever you are right now is a perfect place to start. You can practice this right now. If you're somebody that is like, wow, I don't know if I feel like I can do this with like a potential right now, you know, a potentials person, practice on your own potential. Right? Practice this method on your own potential. Maybe you're not inviting them into a three-way message and you're just using this method for your own closing. I use this method for my own closing. I can be totally conversational with somebody. The minute that we start talking about products, I start asking a lot of questions. I provide a picture. I do everything I'm telling you. Okay. So becoming a servant leader, becoming an investigator. And remember, if for some reason this isn't for them or they go dark or they don't, you know, that is just an opportunity to continue to invite, right? If they don't say yes, that is just another opportunity to invite to the next thing. Hey babe, I saw that you weren't really ready to get started, but we do have a messenger event that is coming up on Thursday. Could I add you to it? Right? You're talking about facts. The fact is they didn't buy, right? We're not talking about how it made us feel. We're not talking about why. We're not trying to dissect why they didn't buy. We're just using the fact that they didn't purchase and we're inviting them to something else. If there's somebody that's like a dream teamer, and I'd be inviting them to Sunday as well, you guys. I'd be doing that. Okay. So this is the last thing I'm going to say. This is an addendum, right? If we're doing like some sort of like an outline format, this is some sort of an extra addendum that I don't even know how to qualify. It's like A1, 2, 3. I don't even know what this is, but you need to get really comfortable with upfront contracts. Upfront contracts are extremely important, and they provide an opportunity to basically, quote, put a pin in something. So let's say that you know that this person needs gut health, right? You do the whole formula and you just feel in your heart, like, right, the Holy Spirit is like, this person needs probiotic. Okay, right? But they're not there. They're just whatever. This is what I would say. I would get them to sign up. I would just, you know, find out how they're going to sign up, find out how you're going to get them going. And I want you to stop. This is scary for people, but just become comfortable with it. I am so excited to get you started. I just want us to both remember that ProBio 5 is my very favorite product. And I want to just ask, do I have permission to talk to you about this again in like 2 to 3 months after you've been consistent on the program that we're starting you on? Do I have permission to bring it up again? They're going to say yes. They're not going to say no. Just trust me. Just try this once. Okay. They're not going to say no because they're curious. You pique their curiosity. You're listening to them. You're acquiescing to what they want. You're listening to what they want. But you're also saying, hey, I'm standing here as the expert. Girl, I want to have some permission in 2 months. I want to be talking about this again because I know this is going to change everything for you. And I know you talked about getting your husband on this. I just want permission that we can kick this conversation back into gear in about 2 months. Does this work for you? And they're gonna say yes. And if they say no, well, then you don't bring it up, but you got the sale. Okay, win-win. We're good, right? So I want you to, oh, Mina, you're out. Let me go in here really quick. Yeah. Okay. So you guys have resources there. I'm looking at that. Permission if they didn't order the product. I love that too. I love they didn't order the product. They don't want to take an invitation to like another thing you can invite to. And guys, another like it is continuous invitations. As you progress in a relationship with people, whether or not they're a business builder for you, whether or not they're a potential, whether or not they're a current customer, I want you to always be believing that you get to invite them to the next step, the next deeper experience with Plexus. Okay, so back to this, if they didn't order that product and you aren't doing, and you know, I don't know the framework around the resources or the systems you have on your team, but yeah, I mean, I like if they say something, for example, oh, like it's just a really hard time for us. It's like so financially strapped, and you don't feel like you're ready to open up that conversation about sharing. One, I would invite them to Sunday. Okay, if there's a financial issue. But if you're not going to do that, I would just go to that person and say, okay, I hear you. People love that. People love being heard. Okay. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, right? Hey, I hear you. Do I have permission to bring this back up in a couple months? Because you said that I know that this is a crazy time for you, but do I have permission to open this back up with you? Or do I have permission to share some testimonies with you as I see them come in that would relate to what we kind of discussed? Right? Because here's the thing, you're just wanting to keep that door open. And when you get their permission, it's basically like, gotcha. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in the very best way. And you can invite to a conversation with your sponsor. Hey, listen, like, I know I reached out to you for the business and you don't feel like it's the right time for you. Like, could I please just allow you to meet my friend Brianne? I know that this feels scary for you. I know that you've shared that you don't think you can do it, but would you just give me 15 minutes? Right? What that does is when you guys, especially if you're not reaching out about the business, I want to encourage you to do it because when you, or, you know, I know we've kind of veered off a little bit, but just if you lead with love and servant leadership with any conversation, even if they keep telling you no, they're going to leave going, you know, she really respected me and she feels that I am capable, right? She really does care about me. She keeps talking to me about these products. They're going to change everything. People don't buy because there's an emotional component to it, you guys. And so what we offer has to coincide with their being miserable enough. I don't know if you guys have ever thought of it that way. But what we offer has to coincide with them being miserable enough to say yes. Okay, imagine offering snow removal service in June. I've said this to my team like a bajillion times. They're probably eye rolling. They're like, we've heard this. But like, what are you going to do? You're like, no, I am sweating and I'm uncomfortable. I don't need snow removal. Okay, no worries. But you know what? I'm just going to leave this card with you. I'd love to work with you. I love your home is beautiful, whatever you're going to say, right? And the first snowstorm that rolls around that dumps a bunch of BS onto their side, onto their driveway, they got family coming over. They're like, oh, yeah, that guy, hang on. Hey, dude, I'm like in a whirlwind of trouble. Can you help me? Right? It's the same thing with your health. All of a sudden, you're ready to feel better. And you cannot take it personally. That yes or that no is no reflection on your value, the validity of your offer, how great of a leader you are, what they're going to get from this. You have to disconnect the yes or the no from everything that you offer. And it's very hard to do because when somebody that you love tells you no, what? You feel like you're a big loser and you're like, if I was good enough, they'd say yes. No, nope. If they were miserable enough, they would say yes. Just keep grinding, keep talking. Keep being available for the conversation. Keep asking questions. Okay? That's all I got.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. We all drop your top takeaway in the comments so that she can read down through them, and then we'll do the same as we always do for guests, and drop it so I can screenshot over after our team chat. Sadie, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think that it's so good, and I think everybody on here will probably agree that sometimes, I mean, we all overcomplicate it. We all want to explain the products away and the business away and our lives away and justify why we're doing it. But people are coming because they want something, right? And it's so good for us to all hear from somebody else that we can 1000% simplify it because we want it simplified too. So I will get this recording up. If you guys have any questions, drop them. I know that she will always be willing to go to the next step because that is her heart. And Sadie, when you kept saying servant leadership, that is the best way to describe you. It really, really is. So thank you for pouring into us tonight. And you do know me well. I took 3 pages of notes. I'm going to get them typed up. So we'll be able to send it all out. I'll put it
That's
into
why we love
something
you.
pretty. Love you right back. All right. Thank you, everybody. Happy Monday.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.